we don't like stealing from taxpayers or stealing from church. So those are two things that I don't like. And so we have today a couple of different cases that involve, unfortunately, the Diocese of Buffalo and the church. We have obviously the case that has garnered a lot of attention over the course of the past few weeks, which is, correct age, 43-year-old Lisa Noble, also known as Lisa Prynne. Also known, she's got a couple of other names too, doesn't she? Yeah, she got a couple of other names too, but she got Lisa Noble, Lisa Prynne. We finally got her back off from North Carolina. She flew back in. The U.S. Marshals went down to get her. It took a couple days because apparently you have to have a female marshal go down and get her. So they had to find a female marshal, and then they went down and got her and brought her back. She got back in last night about 8:30, and she was brought into court this morning for her arraignment. She had a sealed indictment. And that was obviously the reason why I couldn't talk about it before, because she was indicted a number of weeks ago, but once the indictment is sealed, I can't speak about it. I couldn't even confirm that there was an indictment. Now, I recognize that there was some information in a church bulletin that the matter went to grand jury. Just so the ethics people know, I had nothing to do with that at all. I didn't know about that at all, even though it is my church. I didn't know about that at all. I had no idea that was going to be put in the church bulletin. Quite frankly, that should not have been put in the church bulletin, but it's neither here nor there. It is. But over the course of the past few weeks, obviously, I had to be very careful and not even confirm or deny that there was an indictment because it was sealed. And so today it was unsealed. So the rules are if someone's arrested ahead of time and then we put it in the matter in the grand jury, then that's not a sealed indictment. I can talk about that once it gets reported out. But Lisa was never arrested. We put the matter directly in the grand jury without any arrest. And so once it gets indicted in that fashion, then it becomes sealed until arraignment. So it was unsealed today, and she was arraigned. She was arraigned this morning in front of Judge Latempio on 4 counts of grand larceny in the second degree. That is a Class C felony. The 4 counts of grand larceny are 1 count for her former employer, the doctor, that occurred allegedly between 2016 and 2021 for over $500,000. That's the 1 count of the grand larceny. The other 3 counts of the grand larceny are for the church. They were separated out, 1 for cash, 2 for checks, and 3 for bank transfers. She is alleged to have stolen cash from the church. She is alleged to have stolen checks from the church, where she would allegedly write checks to herself and then forge the pastor's signature, or write checks to other entities that benefited herself and again forge the pastor's signature. And then the third was she would just wire from the banking account from the church to her own bank account or to other entities that was for her benefit. So those are the 3 other counts of the grand larceny. 3 counts of criminal possession of a forged instrument, which would be the forged checks that she allegedly wrote. The 1 count of grand larceny in the third degree, that's a D felony. That is the church's credit card. She also used the church's credit card, allegedly, for her own benefit. And then 3 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree, a Class E felony. Those 3 counts deal with the checks from the church after she allegedly forged the pastor's signature, got the benefit of the checks to herself. She then allegedly went into the church records and tried to hide it. And that would be the 3 counts of falsifying business records. Like I said before, the doctor, she worked with the doctor for 7 years, from 2016 to the end of 2021. She was confronted by the doctor in the end of 2021 about the missing money, and she was subsequently fired from the doctor. The doctor, through his attorney, did not bring it to our attention until November of 2022. So almost a year had gone by before the doctor had brought it to our attention. And then as soon as he did, we opened up an investigation. I know that there was one unfortunate remark in the paper from the doctor and his lawyer that kind of, took a shot at me about, well, if you wouldn't have taken so long in investigating my case, maybe she wouldn't have got hired at St. Amelia's, and therefore she wouldn't have committed theft. My answer to the doctor and his lawyer, which I conveyed to him personally, but I'll do it to everyone else here, my answer to that smart-ass remark from the doctor and his lawyer is that the doctor's case was not open and shut. It was not clear-cut initially, and a lot more work had to be done. In addition to that, there's a public lawsuit that Lisa filed against the doctor that is related to this whole thing. And therefore, we had to flesh out all those issues before I charged her with the doctor's theft, which we now did. So I'll wait for the apology from the doctor and his lawyer before they open their mouth to the press again about something that I did or did not do. So the doctor is all his case is now charged, and obviously she did get hired by the church while we were investigating the doctor's matter. She was hired by the church in April of 2023. She immediately, again, allegedly, and again, I say allegedly 1,000 times here, she is innocent until proven guilty, but she allegedly got busy to work right away. She allegedly took 50 grand within her first month of employment in the church. She got busy right away in April of 2023, and she continued, again, her theft until September of 2023. She was the business manager for the church. Approximately $465,000 was taken, and I outlined the four manners: bank transfers, cash, checks, and credit card. Those were the four mechanisms that she used, and we're just thankful. The church came to us. St. Amelia's actually came to us. The pastor for St. Amelia's happens to be the Bills chaplain, and he mentioned it to one of our investigators at a Bills game. And so as soon as he mentioned it to our investigator, we got on it right away. I know there's been some reports in the media, and I know that Gary mentioned it today in the bail portion of today's arraignment, but I can't comment on it. Okay, I know there's been some reports out there, like I said, and I know Gary publicly stated today, which is fine, regarding what she may or may have not done beforehand with her lawyer in coming to this office for a resolution. I cannot comment on that at all, because that would be unethical on my part, because that would kind of, state, without stating it, that, she's guilty, and I can't do that, all right? So any discussions that she had with our office through her attorney beforehand whatever's in the paper, you can keep in the paper, that's fine, okay? Whatever he said in the record today, you can report that, that's fine, but I cannot comment on that because I do not want to do anything that would prejudice this case. And like I said before, she is innocent until proven guilty, and I don't want to do anything at all to cast any aspersions or any doubts upon that at this time. I can comment, though, on her little vacation in North Carolina. And obviously, that was well documented, where she left the area. She went down to North Carolina. Did she use a new name down there? What she used down there?
Julie Wilson.
Julie Wilson. So she was called Julie Wilson in North Carolina. She, as everyone, a lot of people know, she got a job as a babysitter. She was watching 4 kids, I believe, from a local family down there in the Raleigh area. At one point, we were able to track her down to North Carolina. We were able then to track down where she was in North Carolina. At one point, she applied for, believe it or not, she tried to apply for like a business manager job at an adult care facility in North Carolina. And so we were able to find that out, and we had the marshals go there. She was going to come back for a second interview, and she had apparently a friend down there, a gentleman, and the two of them drove separate cars to this adult care facility, and he went in first, trying to fake like he was a prospective soon-to-be resident of the building. And he must have saw the marshals there, and he came out, and the two of them took off. So we had to go to Plan B and get her, and we got Plan B was a couple days later, and we picked her up at a library with a couple of the kids that she was babysitting, and we picked her up at a library there down the Raleigh area, and then called obviously the parents of the kids and told them, hey, your babysitter's wanted in Buffalo for she's a fugitive in Buffalo, and your kids are fine. And so that phone call was made to the parents. They came, got the kids, all was well. And like I said, she spent about a week or so in North Carolina. Again, there's paperwork that's got to be done to get her back up here. We had to, like I said, find a female to go get her, and we got her and brought her back up here. And she is now in custody, and she's been remanded. Outstanding argument today in court that hopefully you heard about getting her on bail. This is a non-qualifying offense for bail. But we were able to argue that, she is a flight risk, and Gary was able to argue the manifestations of that flight risk by her going down to North Carolina and trying to evade prosecution. And so the judge, did the right thing here and remanded her. I don't have a new court date yet because today was just a special term date. So she'll go on the wheel now for the court clerk, and they'll assign her a judge. And once that judge is assigned, then she will get a return date and then come back to court then. In addition to that, 67-year-old Frank Winarski was a volunteer collector at the Church of the Assumption of Blessed Virgin Mary on Amherst Street in the city of Buffalo. And, he was your typical up and down the pew collector, collecting the offerings at mid-Mass on Sundays. The church noticed some money missing out of the collections and called our office, and they called us a couple months ago, and we were able to, that investigation was able to go rather quickly. That was all just a cash, out of the collection basket, allegedly, where Mr. Winarski took approximately $3,000. Again, allegedly, he's innocent until proven guilty as well. And he was arraigned in Buffalo City Court this morning on 1 count of grand larceny in the 3rd degree, a Class D felony. And he will have a felony hearing date in Buffalo City Court on April 16th. Again, it's a non-qualifying offense. He didn't try to flee. There's no way to ask for bail in that case, so he was released. And like I said, he'll be back on April 16th. So again, I want to thank both churches for bringing it to our attention. I want to thank the doctor, even though I'm a little miffed at the doctor for taking a shot at me. I want to thank the doctor. I forgive him, and so his case will now go forward along with the St. Amelia's matter, and I'm glad we were able to get her back in custody and get justice done for her brazen thievery, alleged thievery. And unlike last week, where I showed some sympathy for the individual who took the county clerk's money, I show no sympathy for Miss Noble. She used this money. She spent allegedly $20,000 on Taylor Swift tickets. She went to Kansas City for a Taylor Swift concert, got a limo, and did it up, with Taylor Swift in Kansas City. She gambled. She used it on vacations, trips. So my sympathy for the gentleman last week who had a special needs child and a disabled wife. There is no sympathy for Miss Noble, and she will be prosecuted to the full extent of my successor's prosecution here. Questions?
I mean, it has to feel even more brazen, the fact that it's your church that she's stealing.
It's my money. You're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that. It's my money she took. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, it's just yeah. No. I mean, seriously, I don't like. Seriously, I don't want. I mean, I tried to make it clear last week. Obviously, I don't like stealing from the taxpayers. That's not good. I mean, I show some sympathy for him based upon his situation, but sympathy is not an excuse. So he has no excuse. She clearly has no excuse. Again, like I said when I first got in here, I don't like thieves to begin with, but stealing from the taxpayers and stealing from the church is probably the top of the list of things not to do when you're stealing.
How much was she alleged to have taken from the doctor?
Over $500,000. So she's got over $500,000 there allegedly, and $465 from St. Amelia's ballparkish. So she's got $1 million.
You said that she wrote some checks not only to herself but to entities that benefit her. Can you?
Yeah, I don't know, she would write a check to again, I don't know this, but she was buying products from somewhere. She would write a check to some place where she bought stuff from.
Okay,
So
okay.
she might have wrote a check on the Taylor Swift thing. I don't know about that.
The tops or
Yeah.
Did she spend all that money?
She spent it all.
This is stealing from God.
This is stealing from God. You're right. That's why I don't like it. That's why you're exactly right. That's why this is not good. This is not good. Yes. I mean, I'll put God ahead of taxpayers. All right. Yes. This is stealing from God. This is the worst of the worst. Yes.
Are you going to try to get any restitution on this? $1 million is a lot of money.
Hopefully, hopefully, the church has insurance. I don't know if the doctor's got insurance. I mean, hopefully they do. Hopefully there's some insurance at the end. But we're never going to get a dime out of her. I mean, we can at the end of the day, try to get. We got $20,000 though, right?
Yes.
So think of that. We did get $20,000 we found $20,000 from her. So we got that back. But the rest is gone.
Can you talk about
The church one, the Assumption one, they just noticed it was a little light in the collection. Okay, so they called us. No, I can't tell you how we got it. No, because I can't tell you how we got him because that would involve like. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't. It would involve too much evidence that I can't talk about. With her, it was, she was a business manager. It was kind of, I mean, she was. She's the bookkeeper. Yeah, so it was kind of, that one wasn't too difficult, like figuring out who did it. All right, it was just. Either was a clerk's office one, to tell you the truth there. I mean, both of them are similar in the sense that it wasn't too difficult figuring out who the culprit was. What we had to do, though, was just, find out all they took, and find out, get all the records and find out, all right, you got credit cards, you got bank transfers, you got cash, you got checks. So you got just putting it all together and figuring out how much she took. That's what took time. Yeah.
In court, it was mentioned.
He can't repeat that. Probably. Well, we'll go.
Well, the part about she missed, was it court appearances?
Yeah. No.
Or was it,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appointments with the DA?
Yeah. That's what I. Yes.
Okay.
It was not court appearances,
Okay.
but I can't elaborate on that because again, just a hypothetical. If put her aside, if Joe Smith gets a lawyer, and Joe Smith's lawyer calls up here and says, "Hey, I hear you're investigating my client. We want to come in and talk to you. We want to come in and maybe plead guilty, all right?" That happens every day. So if that happens and I elaborate upon that, I'm kind of showing that Joe Smith is guilty. See what I'm saying? So I can't talk about that. So I can't confirm or deny she did that. I'm just giving you an example about Joe Smith. Yeah.
It isn't difficult to figure out who the culprit is, but the difficulty is proving up how much money was stolen. Why then does it take as long as it takes for some of these white-collar cases to transpire?
Yeah.
I.e., you can always file an amended complaint. First off, it's $1,000, then it's 10, then it's not so much.
Yeah.
Why not file as soon as you know who the culprit is?
Because I think it's sloppy. I think it's sloppy filing amended after amended after amended complaints. I'm kind of I'm anal in the sense that I like my I's dotted and T's crossed. I like to know everything when I stand up here that I possibly can. I mean, I like to know when I go into court. Well, I don't go to court, but when people, Gary goes, when people go into court, we want to have everything. We want to have everything wrapped up to the best that we can and know the parameters, what's going on, because it affects discovery, because the clock starts ticking on discovery as soon as we file a complaint and do arraignment. So if I've got to supplement, a judge might not give me a break on discovery. They might want to have it, you got to have it all done within 15, 30 days, whatever, all right? And so now it creates a discovery problem. That's first and foremost. But even beyond the legalese discovery, it's just more of a how I operate, where I just want to I want to know it all. And then when I know it all, now I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to court. I'm ready to tell the public what I got, and I don't got to come back, 2 months later and say, "Oh, guess what? I forgot about this." Oh, by the way, she did this. Now I look stupid now. Now I look like I don't have my ducks in a row. So I want to make sure that I look sharp, unlike what the doctor said in the paper. Yeah.
Ms. Noble house now?
She'll be at the holding center. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you talk about how, we had that fraud case last week,
Mhm.
and here, these are all people who've been entrusted.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
That's, can you talk about, like how people, can they have faith in these, in your church, in your taxes?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's a different kind of faith, obviously, when it comes to a church employee versus a government employee. Your government employee when you hire someone, you always want to have the thought that they're going to do the right thing when it comes to the entrustment of the taxpayers' dollars. That, so yeah, I mean, when I interview someone to come here to work for the taxpayers, I obviously don't ask them what the religion is, and you go to church on Sunday, that's not part of my interview process, obviously. So your trust resides upon the doing the right thing from a governmental standpoint. But obviously, that's a high bar when it comes to governmental work, and you want to make sure that you hire the best people, and you want to make sure that the people who you hire, who have access to the taxpayers' dollars, are honest and doing the right thing. And when someone violates that, it is troubling. And that's why the county clerk was upset as he was, and I don't blame him. It's troubling when you trust someone in your department, in your political empire, to do the right thing. And when you violate that, it looks badly upon you, because your name as elected official is on the door. When you're a church employee, the individuals who are doing the hiring have, they have a mindset where I'm bringing you in here and I just probably expect you to have the same morals that I have. And that's not always the case, obviously. And, again, I don't know what the criteria is for getting hired as a business manager at church. I don't know what questions they ask them at an interview. I'm not privy to that. But I got to believe that there's some indication when they hire someone that the individual shares the same moral compass in a general sense. Not necessarily, that doesn't have to be Catholic, obviously, but I think it's got to have the same moral DNA that, that the priest does and that the leaders of a church has. And when someone doesn't have that, it's a double whammy, because now I've entrusted you with the money from our church, and you have violated your do the right thing / legal duties, but you've also violated our beliefs. You've violated our morals by again, allegedly violating the seventh commandment. And, so at a church, there's not only the rules, but there's the 10 commandments, okay? And so now when thou shalt not steal, when you violate the seventh commandment now, that is a problem for church officials. That doesn't come into factor probably in that kind of regard with a government worker. And yeah, and may a church official have more faith in someone and place more faith in someone because they naturally assume that you have the same moral DNA that I do? They might. And this is probably a lesson that you shouldn't have that. You need to make sure that the people that you hire are trustworthy, and you need to do some vetting, obviously, of the people that you hire, especially when you're in the financial times that you are now, when you're in bankruptcy, and the last thing you need if you're the church is to lose more money. So, yeah. Anything else? Oh yeah, sure.
Hi, off topic.
Yeah.
Regarding fentanyl and prosecutions related to
Yes.
that, there have been a lot more, federally, but also out of your office.
Yeah.
In which people are being charged for deaths
Correct.
related to that.
Correct.
Could you talk about
Sure.
what's
So,
going on with that?
yeah. So I give most of them to the feds because they've got a better statute than I have. The feds have a statute under the federal statutes, it's easier to prosecute someone for a homicide-related offense when you're involving, either a drug dealer selling it to them or a co-drug user. We're using drugs, and I give this drug to you, and you overdose. So that they just have a better statute. So we have a combined investigation. We have obviously an opioid task force here. We work well together. But 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to say to the feds, hey, you take this case because you got a better chance of proving it. Now, I did one, though, recently where that one's a pretty good case, I think, and therefore it fits in my statute. But it's much harder. It's a much higher bar for me to prove that the person, you're never going to prove the intent to kill, because obviously they're not intending to kill someone. They're intending to get high. Or if you're a drug dealer, you're intending to do a financial transaction and have that person, get high and you make money. So for me, it's a recklessness or a negligence, either crim negligent homicide or manslaughter reckless. And so, this has been on my radar for 7 years, and we've been doing this for 7 years now. I was given cases to U.S. Attorney's Office 2017, 18, 19, and we continue to this day. And there's been 3 recent ones where again, they take the case because they just got a better statute. It's easier for them to prove it than for me on a state level. And Trini and I work well together, just like J.P. Kennedy and I work well together. So we continue to work well together. And I don't care who gets credit for it. I don't care who takes the case. All I want is the perpetrator behind bars, because they have, again, allegedly, engaged in fentanyl distribution that is literally killing hundreds of thousands of people in our society over the course of the last number of years. And it is a plague. It is a problem that needs to be addressed. And, I'm in my little world here, and the U.S. Attorney's in their little world here. And in our world, the way we address it is by putting the perpetrators behind bars, getting them off the street so they can't poison anyone else or kill anyone else. Yeah, Bruce.
How do you balance, we all agree that the for-profit drug dealers are one part of this. The other is the co-drug user.
Yeah.
How do you enforce this law while still having folks that, in a case of an overdose, they feel comfortable calling 911 to get help without being feared that they're going to be prosecuted themselves?
It's a tough balance. It's a tough balance. Obviously, we want the 911 call to be made. If that's going to be taken into consideration, the prosecution of the case. That will even be taken into consideration in the arrest of the case, where if we feel that a homicide-related offense is not fair in this matter, then we won't do it. But based upon the circumstances of the case, the circumstances as to what took place inside the apartment and inside, behind a 7-Eleven and buying the drugs and using the drugs, you factor in all the totality of the circumstances, which would include a 911 call if made, all right? And then based upon the totality of the circumstances, you make an informed judgment as to whether or not you arrest for a homicide or you don't. And so that clearly comes into play.
Anything else?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.